Yeah, so we have a saying about the weather in Iceland. If you don't like the weather, just wait a minute.
Yeah, I've heard about it, like from my friends who already been to Iceland.
I was driving to my parents' house like a week ago, 5 days ago. On the way, we had thunders and lightnings, which happens like every 15 years, and a lot of them. It rained, it was still, it snowed, and it hailed, all in 15 minutes. And that kind of sums up the weather in Iceland.
Winterland, tell me all your secrets. Fill me in on your wildest moments. Colored trees, your yellow leaves.
So I'm in Iceland. The next couple of episodes is gonna be in English because most of the people I'll meet will be English speaking. So that's the only way to do it. That's my second day. Yesterday was a bit like a zombie day because after a pretty hard weekend and not so much of a sleep, Maja picked me up from the airport and she slept like for 3 hours. So yesterday was mainly chilling.
Hamburger na śniadanie. Proszę Państwa, ja nazywam się Maja, jest dość wiecznie, ale w tych pięknych okolicznościach przyrody i architektury nie czuję się na siłach. Także sorry, wracamy jutro.
Today is the first day of our 3-day tour with David. He's a friend of Maja. He just came back to Iceland after 10 years of living abroad, and he's planning to start his own TV show about cooking, and he's taking us to the south of Iceland to his summer house. We'll spend a couple of days there and see some, I guess, really cool stuff, so let's go.
Hey man.
Hey man.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Will it fit?
We'll make it fit. It's a fucking massive one though. If everything goes through, hopefully we will start shooting in January or February. And I haven't written the rest of the series though. I only have 3 episodes, so I guess I'm gonna be busy in January and February. The concept is that I go home to students or people that maybe don't use a lot of time to cook or don't have the knowledge about the ingredients. And I kind of just go into the kitchen and open up their fridge and see what they have. And with that, what they have in the fridge, I kind of make like a party for them and their friends. Teach them how to cook, and then they cook for their family and friends. We're gonna make like something extravagant out of basically nothing, you know?
Now you're like, for how long have you been now in Iceland?
4 weeks, man.
4 weeks?
Yeah.
Because before you were living in Paris?
In Paris, yeah. And before that, Copenhagen, Denmark.
So...
But I feel like I've been traveling a lot for the last 10 years. I haven't lived here for 10 years now. So now it's my turn to learn a little bit more about the Icelandic produce and so on, because when I was a student, maybe I was just concentrated on learning how to cook more than, you know, gathering information about ingredients. I was young and stupid, so now is the time to make up for that a little bit. I was looking forward to move to Iceland just to get to know my own culture a little bit better. You know, learning the Icelandic history, and you know, we have some amazing produce here, which is like wild salmon, lamb, all the fish that we have is seriously fresh. It's like a whole different product than what you get in Europe, from my opinion.
The food is super tasty, and of course what I told you like a couple of minutes ago, like
yeah.
When I came here, the air is so fresh that it actually is tiring for me at the beginning.
You're right, it hurts your nasals.
Yeah.
Nostrils.
You know, that was like a big shock because I came from Warsaw.
Yeah.
And when I woke up today, I had like nothing in my nose because
it's amazing, right?
Yeah, because our air is so polluted that when you like get up in the morning,
yeah.
you feel like you have this shit in your nose, and here is nothing. And
I know.
And I was actually asking Maja, is it weird that I actually like the smell of eggs in the tap water?
Yeah, the sulfur in the water is something that people don't, some people just don't get used to it. But there's a lot of houses in Reykjavik that have heated water now, so it's fresh water that comes heated, so they don't use this natural hot water anymore.
Yeah,
there's a lot of places that do that.
But actually, the smell is by the smell, it's healthy.
Yeah, exactly. It just smells like foul eggs.
Yeah, exactly.
So now we're going to Thingvellir. It's one of my favorite places in Iceland. It's seriously beautiful.
That's the thing I've read about, that there is actually no traffic in Iceland, and that's wrong.
From 4 to 6 during the day, and the weekdays it's usually like you have to wait a little bit, but it's nothing compared to Paris. The traffic in Paris is fucking insane. Paris is something you have to get used to. Most foreigners that live there, they say it's a hate and love relationship. It's pretty tough, I came there not knowing a single word in French except, oui, non, and croissant. That's about it. And the French are very protective of their language. The French are pretty arrogant, but when you get into their circle, you stay there for life. They're really warm people. It's like mostly like the concept of Parisians. People know Parisians as really arrogant and like stuck up. But the real Parisians, the Parisians that people know are people that have lived in the Provence and moved to Paris. But the real Parisians are more laid back. But then when you go down south, people are like extremely laid back. They're so chilled. And they don't know a single word in English.
Of course.
But they're really warm and loving.
But actually, not knowing a single word in English is like deeply rooted in history, I guess. They just hate each other.
Yeah,
like
pretty much.
Because you won't meet a French guy, basically in most cases speaking English, and the other way around.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you ever met like English guys speaking French?
Nope, unless you're Canadian.
Yeah.
Are Polish people a little bit like Icelandic people in the way of their living, like in the way of being?
Like, but what you mean, like, precisely?
Their personality, their attitude. Is it kind of like, what do you think, Maja? Is it kind of like the Polish way of being, or is the Polish way of being more laid back than Icelandic, or the opposite?
No, I think it's kind of Polish way of being.
Yeah.
We are like quite similar.
That's why you people come here. You feel at home? There's a lot of Polish people in Iceland. I love them all.
Like 20 years ago, it was mostly Polish criminals who came to Ireland. I don't know if you heard about this. We had like this really famous Polish movie. It's called The Debt.
Yeah.
About two guys who wanted to start a company, and they borrowed a lot of money from, as it appeared later on, from a gangster.
Okay.
And he started like really harassing them and their families, and they were so desperate that it ended up and they were like two completely regular random guys, but they went so crazy and so desperate that they killed the guy, chopped his head off, throw it into the river. They were sentenced for really long time in prison, but after some time our president like freed them off. And
Really?
Yeah, because they were like, you have like this special name.
Yeah.
It's like murder in affection or something like this, right?
Yeah.
So they were freed, and one of those guys moved to Iceland.
Really?
Yeah, and he lived here like for some time, like completely easily.
Yeah.
Until someone find out about the story, and from what Maja told me, it's like everything makes a good story on Ireland because nothing happens here.
Yeah, exactly.
So it went into the media that there is a Polish guy living in Iceland who chopped somebody's head off, but they didn't describe the whole story. So his life like changed a little bit on Ireland.
Obviously, if you're known as the guy who chopped somebody's head off, I think people's attitude is going to change a little bit. Yeah, back in the day, there was a lot of trouble with not only Polish but Eastern European criminals coming here. There was a lot of gangs that started to form around 15 years ago here in Iceland, and they kind of took over the underworlds. but the more the more good people move here, that image is changing, which is wonderful, because they had like a bad word of. I have to say there was a little bit of racism involved with the Icelandic people and the Eastern Europeans, but the more good people come here, that changes, which is beautiful. But I like diversity, especially after living abroad for so long. I mean, I was a foreigner, I had a little bit of attitude in 2007 when the finance markets collapsed. I had a lot of attitude from Danes, for example, because I was Icelandic. I was just considered as a fucking crook. They didn't want to take my credit card, and they were just giving me serious shit about something that I didn't do, which is the same case like 15 years ago for the Eastern Europeans.
Yeah.
You're taking heat for something that you're not even related to, you don't support, and that's kind of how racism gets created, in my opinion. Yeah, so on the right here, there's kind of like a legend in Heiðmörk that back in the day, the criminals like took people up here, to collect money, so they beat them up here and just left them to walk back. It's not too far away from Reykjavik, so they wouldn't die on the way, but it's just enough to be extremely uncomfortable.
Oh shit.
So on the left here you can see an Icelandic forest, and we actually have a saying: if you get lost in the forest in Iceland, just stand up. The trees here don't grow that tall, but there are some trees, some special trees that they grow, like aspen. It grows up to like 4 meters, but they're really slim. And then mostly we have birch trees and pine trees. That's kind of like what sums up the Icelandic forest scene. Because it's, there's a lot of mountains, there's a lot of, lava and such in the south at least. And we don't have the climate to grow these big ass trees like in Europe.
The most important question, where the elves lives.
Oh, they live in the rocks, man. They're everywhere. Like, especially in the lava fields. There are so many holes and caves and stuff like that where they just chill and hang out. You don't believe him?
Like what?
You don't believe in elves?
In elves? I don't know. We don't have them in Poland.
Maybe we'll see a couple of them on the way.
Maybe. I told Maja that I recently watched a documentary on Vice, I guess.
Yeah.
About a lady, an Icelandic lady, who was talking about that she's having sex with elves.
Oh yeah, I heard about that one.
And that she said that it's pretty amazing and nothing compared to having sex with a man.
Oh, that's sweet. Good for her.
Yeah, obviously.
She couldn't get some, so she just found some.
As long as you are happy.
Yeah, I mean,
everything is okay.
Imagine fucking an elf. There must be something magical happening.
Yeah, probably. She says that their sperm is like glittery and it's shiny and
detailed. Sweet.
So she went into details when talking about the whole experience.
I believe her. Oh, that's not dangerous at all. That's how we roll here. Fuck everything.
Fuck everything, even the elves.
Straight towards the warm sun and into his hands. When I get there, I'll let my feet roll. When I get there, I'm breaking your arms, I'll lose control.
What's the story of the place?
Here?
Yeah.
This is Þingvellir. Þingvellir is known as the world's first parliament. It was a parliament before even France and, for example, USA had that system. Iceland was settled in 874 by Ingólfur, and which we call the settlement period, is a duration of 56 years. And during that time, you know, in the country, people settled each part. So there were like clans that kind of got created all over the country. And at some point, I'm missing their bus.
If you miss bus here, you're fine.
Pretty much. It takes like 10 hours to walk to Reykjavik. But there was a man who was assigned to assemble all the clans, so they could meet in one place and make laws and such for the country, which became a parliament. So that man was actually convicted of murder and sent to jail, so Þingvellir became a public property. And it was decided to have the parliament here, so this was the meeting point of the different chiefs from the different clans of the country. Every year since the first assembly here, they had the parliament meet, and every year you can imagine that, like, Iceland is not small, but every year these people had to come to meet at this place at a certain time. And it could take up to 17 days for people in the east of the country to actually travel from there to here. And imagine driving through Iceland, or riding through Iceland on a horse or in a carriage.
We can try it like next time.
I'm up for it. In 930, the first assembly was here, and it was with around 30, over 30 different chiefs from each clans of the island. Yeah, so they met here in this amazing place, which is actually as well the meeting point of the European and the American tectonic plates. So this is where America and Europe meets. We're actually standing right in the middle of that shit right now. As punishment through the big ruling of the laws in Iceland, women and men were facing two different punishments. And the women, they were drowned here, but the men got beheaded. So you can see the difference of actually killing people. I don't know if it would be worse to get your head chopped off or drowned.
I think it's better to get your head chopped.
Yeah, I think so.
I bet it's quicker.
Here you can see the names of the women that were drowned in Þingvellir. It's pretty fucking brutal. Here you can see remains of the camps the chiefs had at the assemblies.
I can still smell the fire.
Yeah, you can? The campfire, the horses, and the death of the women and the beheaded men. The water you're looking at here, which is next to Þingvellir, it's called Þingvallavatn, and it's the biggest freshwater lake in Iceland. It's pretty damn big.
So people used to live here not long ago, right? This is about 96 years ago or so. And then once they left, all of this was broken down. So there was nothing left here anymore. So last year we came here and rebuilt all of it, just like it used to be. And coffee and tea and sort of look at the shape of this cave. And also you can see some lines and all of that. Forget the writing. That's just tourists letting us know they've been here, because we need to know that. Right?
Of course.
Of course. But no, these caves were actually man-made. Right? Now we're not sure when they were man-made. Well, actually, we're not sure exactly when, but we know that they are more than 1,000 years old. This is very soft rock, so it's actually quite easy to cut into it. So we really don't know who carved these in. But when the Vikings came to Iceland, they started settling around many places. And eventually, they settled in a little village called Laugarvatn.
Alright.
But isn't this cozy?
It's awesome. I'd love to live here.
I've spent the night here actually.
Yeah? How was it?
That was fantastic. We cooked dinner on that stove.
Yeah.
Drank the water that's coming through the roof. Everything.
Man, have you watched movie What We Do in the Shadows?
No?
This is a kind of parody, like a reality show about vampires.
Yeah?
This dude looks totally like one of the main...
He looks like an actor. I thought I've seen.
Dude, I'll show you later on when we'll be back in the house. He looks totally like one of the main characters.
Cool. Oh, this is some good stuff, isn't it? Endre. We're having a moment here. See here, look at the cows while you're eating your ice cream. That is direct farm to table. And when you think about it, Iceland has a really young culture. It was up until the British and the Americans came here with their military that we actually had some of the influences from the outside world. Up until the 1900s, we were only like farmers and yeah, we were basically just fucking farmers. So we don't have that rich, deep culture like rest of Europe or America has. We were literally living in turf houses in the end of 1900s, end of the 1800s. And this was it. It's cows and sheep and people living in perfect harmony.
So that was a pretty long day. Actually, I'm pretty happy, man, that it's like this part of the year that the sunlight is only like for 4 or 5 hours, because we got so much footage, like starting with this parliament, and then
we have enough for a fucking series.
And then the Indian guy living in the fucking 1,000 years
that guy.
Cave.
Guy's awesome. And his pet sheeps.
Yeah,
he literally had pet sheeps.
Yeah, like creepy pet sheeps. Like, I would love to come here, like when he's he's doing this 7 days.
Yeah, dude,
7 days project.
that'd be awesome to live there.
Yeah,
And
because
just stay with him for a week, man. We can cook over fire. We can actually slaughter our own lamb. I mean, the last time I killed a lamb.
Okay, see you in the next episode.